sort of the other side. Usually she's like a great date and, comes around with me and supports me. So I got to do that for her yesterday, and it was really amazing. I'm really proud of her. So
cool. I know, because I keep seeing you.
Yeah, I know. We've been around.
Crazy.
We've been around.
So where's Mike when we pick up a little later?
Mike is dealing with the repercussions emotionally of losing two partners and sort of everything that he went through. We pick up a year afterwards. I'm sure everyone's told you that. That's like the one thing we're allowed to say. And yeah, so emotionally he's having a hard time. He's, Ryan and Mike kidnapped, tortured, and killed a detainee in the last episode. So that just doesn't go away. It's not like, oh, okay, you guys killed the bad guy. It's all good. They broke protocol and Mike especially is dealing with the repercussions of that at work, and emotionally and spiritually, you can even say. I think he's going through quite a crisis. So he's in a dark place. This sort of shiny Agent Weston that we found in the pilot is all but gone by the time we start the second season. And I think he still has his moral core. I think the things that people really liked about Mike, that sort of the levity that he brought, the attitude, I think that's still inside him, but it's not on the surface anymore. It's a little hidden, and he's broken down. It's been a hard year, basically. He's had to kill people. He's had his life threatened and very severely, and a lot of people he loved got killed. So it's pretty rough.
Do you feel like in a way he started as anyone would have started? They're new, they're excited, and now you're slowly turning into almost like where Ryan is?
Absolutely.
After years of going through everything.
After the Fight Club episode, I call it, where Mike got kidnapped by Roderick and had the shit kicked out of him, that to me was the turning point. And that's where I realized, this is a mirror. Mike and Ryan are a mirror. This is who Ryan potentially was, and after all this bad stuff happened, this is who he became. And Mike is. We're at the crossroads of like, what will Mike do? Because he's being put through the same thing. He's losing people. He's having his life threatened. He's going through the exact same things that Ryan did. Will he become Ryan? Will he fight it? Does he have that potential to go there? And I think that's the drama between Mike and Ryan for the second season, is sort of seeing if Ryan will help Mike, if he knows how to help Mike, if Mike will ask for that help. That's sort of part of their relationship, is you just never really know how to ask for help sometimes. And these are two men that are in a field that, you're put through extreme situations, but I don't think that you necessarily ask for help whenever you need it, like a lot of people, like me, I think when you're inside of a situation, it's really difficult to know what to do, to know what to ask for. Whereas if we're standing outside, it's like, that's your buddy, just ask for help, And I think there's a bit of that between Mike and Ryan.
So did you always know your character was going to live at the end of season 1?
No.
When did you figure it out?
The last episode when we shot it and I didn't die. There was at one point the show we get really broad strokes of what's going to happen, and we were all sat down and warned at the very beginning of the first season that people in this room will die. Some of these characters will die. Don't take it personally. It's not that we don't like you or your work, but that's what kind of show it is. So I always thought I was going to die. When Mike gets shot in the chest, I guess that's the end. Mike gets kidnapped and beaten to a pulp and stabbed. I guess that's the end. I happened to survive, And I actually think that because I got beaten up so many times and my life was threatened so many times, it actually saved me, because it would have been anticlimactic to kill me. When I survived the Fight Club, I was kind of like, okay, maybe I'll make it, because if they kill me in the next episode, it would be like, people would see it coming. And we know that Kevin Williamson does not like for people to see that it's coming. So, but there was a scenario in the final episode where both Deborah Parker and myself were in jeopardy. And it was it reminded me of a Dark Knight situation where it was like Harvey Dent and, they had to make a choice, and Ryan didn't know who he was going to save. And it was sort of that scenario. And that was broad strokes. That was just an idea that was pitched out. And I was like, okay, that sounds awesome. I hope I'm the one that makes it. And then obviously there were story points that came together, and they made choices. And unfortunately we lost Annie Parise, who played Deborah Parker, because she was amazing to work with and a great character.
And died horribly.
Yeah,
it was
died
horrible.
Well, if you're gonna go, and someone said this today too. I think Kevin Williamson said this today, that Annie was like, if you're gonna kill me, kill me right. And I have the same attitude. I don't want to die off the show, but if I'm gonna go, let's go big. So yeah, you just never really know.
How confident are you now?
I feel better, but I still, they joke around. I feel like Marcos Sega always jokes around and is always saying just things for me to hear. I'm like, Shawn's gonna die, and I'm like, what? So there's always a possibility. So you just never know. I feel much better about it, but yeah, now I say that I'll die next episode.
How many episodes have you filmed?
We're about to start shooting the 6th episode.
So we can say that you're safely.
Yeah, about halfway into the season, I'm still alive.
So in the second season, do you have more input into your character and what he does than in the first season?
No, I mean, input is. As an actor, I think you always have input. You are given the words in the scenario, and your input is what you bring to that character. Because, there's a million other actors that could play Mike Weston, and they would bring their lens and their insight into it. So the way that I look at it is that, I don't sit down and talk with Kevin Williamson. Like, I think the character should go here. I mean, that's his job. That's what he does. He knows exactly what he wants everybody to do. He knows the pacing. He knows. We're each little puzzle pieces that help tell this grander story. So it's not as if I sit down and have conversations with him about what I want to do, like what I think Mike should be doing, because I'm not a writer, I have no idea. But what I do bring and what I can bring, my insight is within this scenario, how do I make it emotional? How do I make it as dramatic as possible? How do I make it funny? How do I make it engaging? So that's my insight. So in that sense, I think I always have that. I think that Kevin Williamson, as he works with actors, really writes for them, and so I feel much more confident and comfortable about the stuff I'm getting to do this season, because I think Kevin knows me better as an actor and knows the things that I can really sink my teeth into, and honestly some of the things that I can't do as well. And someone like Kevin plays to your strength, which is great. Makes you look as good as possible.
I have a weird question.
Okay. I'm nervous.
I know that you have a twin brother.
Yeah.
Has that ever come into play, that maybe possibly something weird might happen on the show with a brother coming on?
No,
because that would really screw us all up.
That would be really weird. But we would have to be followers of that. If you bring in like a twin, that's got to be something evil. That can't be anything good. We did an episode of Fringe together, and I feel like Fringe is the kind of show where you have twins.
Yeah, you guys
or
were
Warehouse
great.
13. Actually, Aaron was on a show called Warehouse 13, and obviously there's ample, possibilities for twins in that, but our schedules didn't really work out. We sort of did talk about that, and it didn't happen. But I can't see Mike having a twin. We know he has brothers. That was established last season, who we haven't met. But I guess Aaron could be one of the brothers, and just not make a big deal that we're like twins. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. But that hasn't come up, so we'll see.
How did they find that actor? He looks just like him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know that guy.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, guys.